Hey, when I was 11 years old, a fat, bookwormish, shy kid warming the bench on the basketball team, my dad encouraged me to show up, learn from the best, and help the team. I warmed the bench the whole season, but that made a huge difference. It's also a valuable lesson. How are you watching out for your team? How are you helping your team? Welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf. And as a leader of the pack, I am always scouring the countryside looking for food in the form of insights that you can use to improve your mastery as a leader, be more effective in your business, leading your team, and in your life. So, how are you helping your team? Are you focused on that, or are you just focused on helping yourself? Yeah, in a leadership role, running a business, it's not easy. It's a lot of tough decisions. So a lot of moving parts. You have people doing things. Are you helping them be more effective in their role, especially other leaders? When you have someone that's assigned either in a permanent formal role or just as a temporary project leader, are you focused on helping them be more effective in their role as a leader at that time? Or are you going around them and working with their people as well? That's just one example of ways that you may be undermining leaders that you're bringing up in your business and that you are not looking out for your team. Because doing that is a lack of confidence in the person you put in that role. If they're not working out in that role, remove them. If you have you put them in that role for a reason, support them, support your team, support your immediate reports, the people reporting directly to you, support your project leaders that you're asking to do things. You know, otherwise, why are you having them do that? You need to build a strong team and you have to trust them. This is hard. This is a hard transition as a leader. And some as entrepreneur, you may not make that transition. Some don't. Different people are effective at different size companies. Some are good from the chaos of just getting started to $1 million a month. Others are good for $12 million a year to $20 million a year. Some are great at running big organizations with with thousands of employees. It's a very different skill set that's required. Are you able to let go of the reins to let your team do what you're asking them to do and focus on helping them be effective in it rather than doing it for them? It's a serious question. You think about that. How are you doing? And overall, how are you watching out for your team? That sets the culture. Your behavior sets the culture and the tone around you, whether it's running your business or you're in a social setting out with friends. As a leader, what you do, how you conduct yourself sets the tone for all the other people around you. If you are dedicated to serving others, to put it bluntly, are you dedicated to serving others, being of service? If you are, that example is set, the people around you will do the same, or they'll self-select and get out of there because they just can't hang with that mindset. Either way is fine. If they're self-selecting and moving on, they'll find some place where they can be effective, but not around you. Because if you're instilling that habit, that culture through your example of serving your team, helping your team, then that will begin to build or further deepen what already exists is the culture in your company or in your friends, your family. It applies everywhere you go. So think about that. Are you helping your team or are you just helping yourself? And serving the team, helping the team is a key part of being a leader, being an effective leader, being a leader people want to follow, right? Don't classic big company mistake. You're probably not doing this, but ask yourself if you have. Do you catch yourself doing this sometimes where someone gets delegated responsibility, but not the authority? It's like, yeah, we'll hold you accountable if it doesn't work out. But guess what? We're going to throw roadblocks up at every turn to make sure you can't get it done and then blame you when it's over because you didn't have the authority to do it in the first place. You've probably experienced that at some point in your life. And you don't want to do that to your team members, to your family. Think about that. Not just in your business. Where else in life might this be? Might this happen? Might this present? Think about that. And it's not always a big thing. It may be something small. Either way, it has the same effect. It's just, the magnitude of the effect. If it's really bad, if it is just wreaking havoc for someone, you'll hear about it. But what about when it's not? The smaller cuts, the smaller slights, they just felt they weren't getting support and you weren't paying attention to make sure it got resolved. And now there's a burning resentment, a seething resentment. Someone's now not bringing 100% of what they can do to the table because the trust has been damaged, because they're going, no. I've seen this movie before. I know how it ends. You're going to hang me out to dry one way or another. So they start backing off. It's a sign to watch for in your team, in your friendships, in your family. There are people going, yeah, okay, that's great. Okay, fine. Yeah. Just doing the bare minimum. Part of that may be that over time, you have created the perception, real or imagined, that you are not going to give them responsibility and the support to do what you've asked them to do. Think that through. Are you helping your team or not? Are you now the other components are equally valid. My dad, I learn more from him. The older I get, the smarter he gets. The show up, be there, there's a lot packed into that, but to show up, do your best, learn from the best. Is also another way of saying do your best. So are you learning? Are you doing your best and learning so you can keep progressing? And are you helping your team? We'll talk about the other two in more detail because there's a lot packed in those. But just on the are you helping your team, it starts with being having an attitude of service, an attitude of wanting to help them. It's hugely important. What's your experience with that? Let's see it in the comments. We want to hear from you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Let us know, get it part of the conversation. We have a dialogue. I'm watching the comments and have dialogue ongoing with the people that join the conversation. Very much want you to be part of that conversation too. Like our Facebook page, jump into the comments. What's your experience with that? You think this is off the mark? Tell me, but don't just throw rocks. Explain why you think that's not, there's a different direction. It's not really hitting the mark. Explain it. If it resonates with you and you have experiences, things you've learned, share that. I want to have that conversation with you, but also so the other people that are part of the conversation with Wolf's Watch, so they can learn from you as well. So it's all about, we're learning together. We're moving forward together. Here to be of service to you and your team and help you move forward and achieve what you want to achieve. Thanks for joining this episode of Wolf's Watch. Parting thought, if you want more, you want to get some more insight, some things that we didn't have time to broadcast. We had also tips that ended up on the cutting room floor from our interview series that streamed our TV show, where we interview leaders. Go to adventureceo.tv. That's adventureceo.tv. We have a once a month newsletter that's sent by email, just once a month, that has some of those tips, some summaries of this show of Wolf's Watch, points that we've shared, ideas we've shared here, but also things that happen on the Adventure CEO Leadership Insights TV series as well. So at adventureceo.tv, there's more information on that. Hope to have you part of that conversation as well. Thanks for joining us for Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf, and I'll see you on the trail.